Who would have thought, Papa Smithy? I certainly thought that you did not like League of Legends, but today we learned.
So I want to talk about a little thing, because people look at the previous game and say, well, that's because it was win lane, win game. Did we really learn anything? And I think there's actually something really important we learned about Team BattleComics that actually applies to any further game state going forward. You might think, oh, what is it? Is it about champions? Is it about counter picks? But what I learned is, if DAMWON Gaming get ahead, we do see mistakes being forced out of BattleComics. BattleComics were rushed in their decisions. Remember, this Olaf was much further behind and yet still ran into the backline and died in a team fight rather than being able to actually cause too much impact. So I think DAMWON will be inspired and can take that away, even though recreating the game state from game number 2 is going to be really tricky.
Take a look at the bans on the side of BattleComics. They take away Jace and they take away Yasuo. No longer are DAMWON Gaming going to get a chance to get a hold of those 2 picks. Olaf also being taken away from On Fleek, who gives a little smirk, saying, I can play a lot of other stuff, but curious what they're going to first pick here now after these new bans.
Xayah and Ryze have both been dropped from the bans over the 2 games by DAMWON Gaming. First pick Xayah is what we saw in game number 1. And it seems like we'll see a return to that here. Of course, DAMWON Gaming could just repeat and steal away the Rakan again. There's no Yasuo Pyke duo available. Yasuo banned by BattleComics in the first round.
Definitely is a feeling of comfort for the side of BattleComics. They would love to force a similar type of pick ban to game number 1, where they can handle some of the solo laners and play clean League of Legends and get ahead and not necessarily have to deal with pressure in the lanes and stuff like that. I'm curious to see if DAMWON Gaming can try to, push this draft into that kind of a stage and try to take some other big picks that can win lane.
I wondered about this. Now, the Ezreal didn't really do too much on either team in the 2 games, so I actually like the pivot to Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa Rakan. Again, it's not the strongest 2v2, but they just got through Yasuo Pyke. Kai'Sa Rakan is stronger than that 2v2, so if they got away with one, why not try again? Because we just see Joker just default to Tahm Kench. It might just be Xayah Tahm Kench as a duo, and thus, I like the idea of DAMWON cribbing notes from Katie Rolster, who you remember against Gen G with the first team, to say, don't really care about your Varus Morgana. I don't think you can dive us. We're going to play Kai'Sa, and you're going to have to like it. I like the same approach by DAMWON as on the side of BattleComics. We see an aggressive jungler. It's not a sword champion. This is definitely On Fleek jumping onto the Camille.
Haven't been blessed by his Jax, but he has shown us a lot of other aggressive stuff. The Olaf and now the Camille into the jungle. The Shen looked good in game number 1, looked fantastic. It's so good alongside the Camille as well.
And it was Olaf Shen diving in to extend the lead for the legendary Olaf. Gotta say, Shen Camille sounds pretty scary as well. So dive buddies there on the side of BattleComics. I just need to see some more good Camille jungle. We were treated to Haru recently, and basically no one else in Korea dares to play jungle Camille. So any more of it, with LPL no doubt repping it first pick, first ban status when Worlds comes around, is very welcomed by me.
On Fleek trying to show us that he can carry his team once again on a different pick. I'm always welcome to that as well. I like the Galio ban this time around. Obviously, adding a Galio on top of a Camille and a Shen is just going to make your life horrid, especially for the Kai'Sa. So a pretty simple first ban there.
Was the trademark Korean comp in spring season was Camille Galio basically every game. Other regions tried it, but the macro around it wasn't as clean. The power of Camille Galio was, if you choose the right fight, you basically always win it. If you choose the wrong fight, your cooldowns are down, you don't do much. So Korea was able to benefit from that, just like other picks have suited other regions over the course of 2018. Kali ban actually going to be put out by BattleComics. It's their first ban here in the second round. Mid lane and top lane most likely going to be picked up. Again, outside chance Sora plays Camille, but he's kind of Jason tank only, so I would be surprised.
Something that has been overlooked in this pick ban is the Urgot was banned twice by BattleComics on the blue side in the first phase. It's definitely something that could go alongside either of these compositions, I'd say. So maybe Nuclear might pick that for his team on the second phase. We'll see how highly they like this pick.
BattleComics were banning the Urgot almost all of their Challengers playoffs run. That was where we got the first spoiler that Urgot would be a big contested pick in the LCK finals. So with the Urgot up, who will be the first team to blink? It seems very unlikely Urgot will fall through picks and bans.
There you go.
Yep.
Nuclear going to pick it first on the first side, and well, you already got a nice little composition around this Kai'Sa getting to start going.
It's going to be like game one of their series a couple of days ago against BBQ. It is very much protect the VIP, with the VIP being Kai'Sa, another nuclear-focused comp on the side of DAMWON Gaming. BattleComics looking for top lane and mid lane. Remember, the Urgot is a flex pick as well, so not 100% clear which lane he'll go into.
Curious to see this mid lane. Showmaker's not a player that's going to play Lulu alongside of the Kai'Sa. We'll probably play something a little bit more aggressive.
Even
just waiting
Syndra.
to see what it's going to be here and what Dove wants to blind pick into it as well.
Aatrox is gone. Seems like he'll be going back to the Azir we saw a few days ago. He was good in that game. That was where BattleComics was a bit more sloppy. But his actual Azir play was strong. A lot of options available here for Showmaker. He's loves
smiling.
Katarina. He loves it into Zoe. This would be surprising, but he is Katarina in competitive play already.
He was giving a smirk. We're a little bit delayed on the camera shots to the picks.
Syndra would have been fine. He's going to do the Katarina. Okay. All right, Showmaker.
Here we go.
We're doing it, boys.
He's feeling good after his Syndra carry. He says, hey guys, want to see my Katarina carry? Let me show you what I got.
The hard CC on the enemy team is there, but it's outplayable, and Showmaker says it's not just a Zoe counter pick. How about the Azir matchup as well? Isn't it lovely when someone lives up to their name? Win or lose, this game is going to be all about Showmaker.
And this is what I love about young talent that's just a little bit too cocky. He plays picks like this. Nobody else, even the best mid laners in all of LCK in the world, would dare pick it into anything. And Showmaker says, I'm going to be the guy to make this a popular pick. It's if you got friends that aren't watching promotions, they're not watching DAMWON Gaming, they're missing out because this is the real deal here with the Katarina.
And this is why, win, lose, or draw, we will see Showmaker in the LCK next year, because he does try the aggressive picks. He is blessed with incredible talent. But whether the game comes off or not will be interesting, because we've gone from making it all about nuclear to having two threats on the side of DAMWON. If Onfleet gets the right level 2 gank and puts the Katarina behind, her wave clear is not going to be so good against Azir just poking her away and that health bar being deleted.
Yeah. Showmaker trying to live up to his name right now, picking the Showmaker in the Katarina. You see it only in solo queue. I can't remember the last time we've had it in LCK at all.
One game in challenges from Showmaker, that's all we got treated to. We get to see it on the Nexon Arena stage today.
Now, alongside the Kai'Sa and the rest of that nice pick composition with the Sejuani, Urgot, and Rakan, let's see how it all falls apart here, or falls together, I should say, as the countdown starts. Let's hop into game number 3.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
Well, guys, this is not really what I expected, although once we saw that one game, as you were saying, Papa, we thought maybe, just maybe, he would bless us with this Katarina in one of these games.
Just seems like a really painful matchup, as he had been tuned down a billion times over the past, so soldiers don't do quite as much damage as they would in recent memory, but still going to be a tricky matchup. Ignite taken by Showmaker. Of course it's Ignite. He took Ignite on Akali against Lissandra. Looking at the start here, is actually the taunt used at level 1 to stop the ward going down, and he gets the success there, so hashtag worth comes through from Joker.
It's definitely pretty big. You can get a good read on where the enemy jungler is going to be if you can keep that ward available. We see a lot of teams on the red side trying to deny that ward as well.
Going to be Ravenous Hunter and also second win from Showmaker. So it is a, yep, Azir's going to hit me in the face a lot. I'm a melee champion. Choice of runes coming through from him. Time Warp Tonic and the minion disintegration coming through from Dove. So all about dominating lane compared to sustaining through the lane between the two mid laners.
On fleek, level 2 here.
And that means ganking time. He's going to be spotted, though. His sweeper does see the ward. He knows the jig is up.
Thought about it for just a second. waiting. Maybe I can go in on this, but his bottom lane was pretty far away. So needed to make it work with no vision. Still going to get the Scuttle Crab on the bottom side, so he didn't waste all too much time in the play.
No double Scuttle, and they know where he's coming in from after the delayed ward went down by Hoyt. Could there be a less impactful duo laner than level 1 Flash Cleanse Shen? That seems like a really crappy lane right there.
Yeah.
Gets better as time goes on, and the W can be useful, but doesn't have W at level 1.
I like how Punch, he knows that the mid lane Katarina against Azir is going to have 0 priority. And he's like, okay, the Camille can be so aggressive against me. There's no reason to try to reach for this Scuttle Crab. I'm just going to have to let it go and take the loss here. It's great for On Fleek because that's one of the other things that happens when you have an Azir on your team against Katarina is you just have your run of the play. Unless the enemy jungler is going to get really frisky, which Punch doesn't really seem to be that kind of jungler on this team.
And again, we should outline the fact that Camille, the god tier pick over in the LPL, has very rarely worked in Korea. Only Haru has made it work, really, of any jungler. Score has played it, a lot of junglers have played it, because Korean teams naturally play more defensively. Doesn't have hookshot yet.
Doesn't have it available, but he finds Punch in the jungle. That's really what he wants to do here. The stun comes in. Katarina can't do much. There's the shuffle, and he gets the stun with the hook shot. First blood goes over to On Fleek. Man, that was really impressive. He went scuttle to blue, and then immediately to find Punch.
And that's how you have to play Camille. You have to think about the kills and the dueling. You don't think about the farming. He just never expected this positioning, as you mentioned. Starts about the hook shot, but doesn't need it as Punch walks in to check for a control ward. Beautifully played, and maybe we can have 2 great Camille jungle players because we need as many as we can get in the LCK.
Well, On Fleek has 3 wins and 0 losses on Camille so far. And, I mean, having any new jungler that comes in and is good at Camille, I would love to accept them into LCK.
Camille, Olaf, Xin Zhao, this is On Fleek, and his most famous pick is Jungle Jax. I almost said
Jangle Jax.
Jangle Jax. Hey, if we get to see it, maybe he'll be worthy of that particular title, but that's what he plays, and it's all about the gap close and the fighting. That's why whenever you see a jungle Camille in solo queue, it goes feast or famine. It's just the reality. If it's farming out, even with a Tiamat, it's not going to be too fantastic, but if it's farming champions, free LP for you.
Look at him, he's trying to find Punch again. Already bought a control ward, and look at the ping. He knows exactly where he is, even off of vision.
And Katarina can't react till level 6, so they're saying,
no
yep.
flash either, and no Arctic Assault just yet. Trying to block it. There's the stun. Katarina trying to get in. Here's the Azir now, and Katarina trying to get in with the Ignite, and it looks like a Fleek trying to flash away. There's the last Shun Po to pick up the kill, and double buff goes to Showmaker.
Not ideal. I feel like he could have played around the Katarina a bit better there. He was always going to be isolated and go down when the Shun Po cooldown came back. Still, right idea, getting on top of the Sejuani, but she's matched farm. And now double buffs, the red buff in particular, really big for Katarina for the health regen. Liking the aggression, but you make this play and Katarina gets the kill, and it's nowhere near as viable as if you get 1 kill and get out.
Shutting down a Sejuani that's already died, doesn't have flash, just sits there and gives over the double buffs essentially to Katarina, means that although now Showmaker doesn't have any summoners of his own, he's going to have a much easier lane to get to that point in the game, the mid-game for Katarina, that gets really scary.
Definitely agree, Valdez. Again, the red buff and the health regen is the feel-good moment of that, really, for the cat. Blue buff is a lot less useful, except for, I guess, maybe in the early laning phases, the cooldown reduction on the Q can help with a bit of farming. I actually want to see a skill order, as people have changed their mind on Katarina's skill order many times. 3-point Shun Po, sometimes just Q max to get the wave clear. I get most of my Katarina information from Scar's stream, so always fun to watch.
It's one place to get it. Maybe we now have a second person in the world to
I'm
give
ready
us
to watch the
information.
Showmaker stream, baby. Let's go.
I wonder if he has a stream.
If he doesn't yet and wins on Katarina, he'll get one soon.
He will just be awarded a stream, even if he didn't want one.
Just Q max. Again, this was a change. People have dropped Shun Po after the last Shun Po nerf. It's gone for Q for wave control because he just doesn't feel as good when you get the extra points in it.
On Fleek, not to be pushed back, is still going extremely aggressive up against Punch here. Looking for that red buff, is actually going to start it, and Punch is really scared. He's going to have Katarina come in with him. Will be a 2-on-1. Onfleek is able to spot him and says, hey, there's no Katarina in the mid lane who's level 6. So we'll just have to back away on this one. And now we got Dove alongside Joker, and Hoyt's even making his way to potentially set up a 4v4 for the red buff.
But level 5 on Onfleek and Joker is a big drop in power. They really want those ultimates. We're going to get some fighting words, Valdez.
Will this be the quadra kill for Showmaker is what I want to ask and what I would like to see. Looks like BattleComics would rather not have that happen in this game, and so he will just have to give away the red buff.
It felt like what was available for the side of DAMWON in terms of ultimates trumped that of what BattleComics had. Urgot ultimate, Katarina ultimate seems set up for that. Not having Shen especially was a pretty big problem, so they're going to back away. Again, despite the fact that we've seen some great Camille, there's a reason the pick hasn't worked in Korea. It's because the defensive macro has outstripped the aggressive options. In China, everyone takes a fight every time there's an opportunity to. That's just how they play it out, and that is to the benefit of the meta right now. In Korea, it's very much about timings and setups. If the Camille can't keep up the pace of this game, real chance of Sejuani just becomes super tanky and throws out an ultimate and outstrips her as the game goes on.
You still have that opportunity to go for Camille Shen and set up stuff in the mid-game before the Sejuani and the rest of the team does get too tanky. I would imagine that would be their goal, their dream engage, of course, is you get that engage from the Camille Shen, and then Azir and Gnar just follow up, maybe a 5-man Feather Storm, and everything falls to pieces. Doesn't usually happen that way, but that would be the dream, of course.
Priority top side is pretty even, actually. The Gnar, while you think of it as a priority champion, Urgot's very powerful as well. Mid and bot lane are advantage BattleComics, but they weren't able to turn the bot lane advantage to much against the Yasuo Pyke in game number 2. In fact, the Pyke's roams were more influential than anything BattleComics did. So far, the jungle invasions haven't worked. You can see BattleComics feel a bit pressured. Just like in game number 2, they feel like they have to make something happen, and given the draft, I think that read is correct. But for now, DAMWON Gaming haven't rolled over it all. Kind of waiting for Onfleek to make the next aggressive move to see if DAMWON Gaming might just get away with Kai'Sa and Cat showing up at 3-item team fights ready to go.
We saw Punch with red buff angling towards the top side. Level 7 is waiting for that first Glacial Prison play. Cleanse here for Dove in the mid lane, and he's Azir, so as long as he doesn't get too aggressive, he'll be safe against the Sejuani. Bottom lane, maybe Joker would be a nice catch.
Do remember, it offers him nothing in the 1v1. Now, he feels that the matchup is so strong, and he went for Time Warp Tonic, that he can go for a summoner that's not heal or barrier or his own Ignite. We have seen Electrocute Ignite by Schalke. Nukeduck took that in the EULCS final, or I say the regional final. So there's definitely other ways to rune and summon a choice onto the Azir, choosing it to just not be dunked by Sejuani or Rakan in some sort of a roam. There is always going to be that window where Katarina might consider an engage.
Onfleek shows himself, and Punch immediately starts the Infernal Drake. Pretty unfortunate here for BattleComics to have that timing. Punch right in position. Nicely done. A big push in the bottom side comes out as well, and DAMWON Gaming should be able to secure this. No steal does come in. The smite is on point, and the Infernal first goes to DAMWON.
And that's so important because just like last game where DAMWON had the strong solo lanes and we said jungle top side, BattleComics had the strong mid and bot lane, so there should be Drakes for them. Infernal first was advantage BattleComics, but DAMWON found a time to come in to take the Infernal against the run of the play, and things are starting to slide into place for DAMWON Gaming.
Onfleek trying to min-max that Raptor camp, thought maybe towards the end that he didn't have it down, but actually got it on one of the last ticks of his jungle item, but kind of a funny small thing there. Still waiting for Showmaker to pop off on the Katarina. Has those Sork boots for some good penetration already. No Gunblade just yet. Still working on that as he is about 80 or 25 CS behind the Azir so far. Just the nature of the matchup.
And now, given that we haven't watched Camille run away with the game, I'm asking for this game to be even at 35 minutes and just a whole load of 5v5 team fights, because the amount of outplay with Kai'Sa Cat and Xayah Azir as the damage dealers is insane. We're going to be tracking so many cooldowns on both sides. The Xayah ult and the Kai'Sa reposition could be oh so useful. Here comes the engage attempt, Shen joining in.
Good ultimate, the Glacial Person, and an ultimate just by himself. Showmaker immediately going to get blown up there. On Fleek gets low, but it's not enough damage. Going for the flash even on super low health is On Fleek. Here comes Hoyt, is going to get the knockup and stays alive. So nicely done by Hoyt on the backside. Noguri by himself in the jungle, though, is going to get knocked up into the team and is not going to be able to get out there. Just a little mistake by him. Going to give another kill over to BattleComics.
TP was used by Hollow to join the fight. Didn't really find too much purchase from that TP, so they'll definitely want to find some objectives to justify it. Sora himself will TP down and do an impersonation of an AD carry, but he has to know that multiple members are coming bot side as well.
Just going to have to give that one away. DAMWON Gaming, nice read on the map to just say, okay, we had everybody in the top side. Maybe we can rotate down to the bottom side. The push is coming in. Sword trying his best to hit Meganar. In the end, is not able to save that turret.
DAMWON may not get solo gold onto Nuclear, but he does get some farming time bot side. I'm not clear if he had his teleport as the fight started, or if he held on to it or didn't have it. We got that information. He did have his teleport the entire time. The call is made for Hollow to join. The Kai'Sa does not, and even though there's a kill advantage to the side of BattleComics, the first objective going down bot side and freeing up the Rakan to roam, and in Kai'Sa extra gold is a pretty big advantage to the side of DAMWON Gaming.
You can tell that On Fleek is trying his best to carry this team, as it seems like a lot of these challenger players do from time to time maybe get a little bit too aggressive compared to what we're used to here in the LCK. Noguri again just a little bit too close to the sun. Just gonna get blown up there.
If you ask me who wins, 2 kills for 1, but the turret going bot side, easy answer, DAMWON Gaming and Kai'Sa. Getting the solo experience in gold. Able to close up the CS lead that Hollow and Joker with the Xayah lane were able to open up. Urgot comes down bot side. He's got a ghost now. He finds another summoner. The visual lag comes through, but the game is very close, so I'm going to stick with what I said before. Give me those 5v5 team fights. That's what I'm really loaded in for.
I'm ready for them too. Got a very scary Azir. Already Nashor's Tooth ready, and Noguri with no flash here, and a Camille on his back should be going down. The teleport also going to be wasted by Nuclear. Not going to help him out in the least, and we do have another death for our Urgot.
Bit of whoopsie positioning from Noguri, who had these sort of problems 2 days ago. He has literally no information about the river. Walked up and then was surprised to see a Camille. That was pretty poor. Definitely seeing some exploitable sides to a guy who's monopolized top 3 challenger for recent memory. Only a kill. No kill on an objective, but BattleComics have largely been good at that. They're still pushing through mid, and the Azir versus Cat lane has led to about a 30% mid lane turret for DAMWON Gaming.
TP comes in from Noguri as he realizes, okay, don't want to let this Gnar just take the turret for free. But Gnar, I mentioned the Azir before, but now we got a Gnar who's 2-0 and is working on that Black Cleaver. It's going to be pretty rough for the Urgot to deal with here. Kind of surprised that DAMWON start up the Rift Herald. I don't think that's going to happen as BattleComics are on top of it.
See, they started up because the Gnar actually hasn't spent gold. The Urgot had an item lead over him. He has a lot of gold he's holding on to because he was up in CS and 2-0. Yeah, had less items, so I imagine that's coming in very shortly. He also doesn't have teleport, and the Gnar having quite a bit of the gold there for BattleComics and not being present will be relevant. Conga line coming top side to stop any further turrets going down. Getting 3 turrets down by 20 minutes is really what BattleComics were looking at, especially when they said, what, Katarina as final pick? But until that happens, plenty of farm for DAMWON Gaming to pick up.
Got a really quick look at the gold. Wasn't actually able to see any of the values, but the Gunblade is picked up here for Katarina. So if she finds someone and they're a bit squishy, she can definitely 100-0 them. It's kind of that Akali feel all over again. We'll see if he can actually make those plays happen.
On Flake, you'll notice on the heat map, a lot of blue dots in the enemy jungle. He was basically saying, I kill single target camps and single target champions, nothing else. That's all he was interested in. To mixed effect, you would say, in the first 15 minutes. On to the Drake. BattleComics gave up the first one. It wasn't Infernal, but Mountain, given that the Baron with Azir mid lane could be very, very big objective, is a nice one to pick up, and there'll be another Infernal maybe 22 minutes when we'll see the first big team fight of the game, because for now, we've been thwarted in our hopes to see one.
I think for BattleComics, if DAMWON step even a 1 footstep too deep and they have position, you can make a big play happen, because Camille to lock down any of these high mobility members. You got Shen to go in and Azir, who is super fed. You can definitely make quick work of one person if you can catch them.
Feels like every champion on the map except for Urgot can make a big play. It's a big play kind of game. Katarina, Azir, Xayah, Kai'Sa, all these champions can make big plays, engage on a lot of them. So definitely going to be spoiled for choice for whose name we're going to be screaming and celebrating in these 5v5s.
Punch and Hoyt dancing on Vision. Generally not what you want to see, and well, Hoyt might just be dead meat there. It is the cleanse, but okay. I mean, it's Camille. So, Hoyt, you've been so good the whole time, but unfortunately, pretty big mistake there that should give the Rift Herald over to BattleComics.
I always love when League of Legends creaks. There's so many big abilities to use, and you wonder which will override which. Well, everything is overridden by the Camille ultimate. The lockdown is good. No objective off it just yet, but the Rift Herald will be a nice pickup for the side of BattleComics.
Really nothing they can do unless Punch wants to try to steal it away.
Well, let's have a look at this one.
Okay, they're going to get the ultimate on in. Kai'Sa gets in, but already the stopwatch purchase. There goes Showmaker into the back line. Huge Death Lotus, but will go down in the end. But it's really the Kai'Sa show here as Nuclear with this red buff and nobody to stop him. He's going to do a nice job of chunking them all down. Gnar a little bit late to the play. That doesn't mean that DAMWON does, in fact, stop the Rift Herald.
Not being able to get there for Sora, it does stop the side of BattleComics from actually taking the objective, so it's stalled for now. It's at 3,000 health when this opened up. Thought this was going to be the Katarina moment. The fact that the stopwatch was there actually was really consequential. You saw it kind of stop the Katarina in her tracks, and then by the time it ended, Hollow was getting free autos onto Kat for no punishment. Nobody gets there. The Gnar does not. So overall, DAMWON will be pretty happy with how the play went out.
Wasn't expecting that, but they're able to convert on the backside. Still a relatively similar game state at the end of the day, as the gold's still 2,000 ahead here for BattleComics, and now they have a Banshee Veil and 6 stacks on a Dark Seal for the Azir. Dove relatively untouched in that last fight. It's going to be a really, really scary Azir. We've seen this before, where the Azir gets really far ahead early game. I think it was Faker who did this in the regional qualifiers, and begins to really take over the game in a big way.
And Azir is one of those champions who can so confidently, speaking of confidence, Punch just smites away the Scuttle, can so confidently, with a build like this, go Banshee Veil second and say, all right, now I don't care about Katarina and even most of Nuclear's damage, walk up very confidently, and because you have per level scaling on the soldiers, you don't really lose damage with this choice either. We remember Showmaker refusing to build the second item Banshee Veil and falling way behind the Syndra in that matchup a couple of days ago. In this particular game, it's a bit of a snowball Banshee Veil, so right now Dove feels like he might be the game-breaking one in the next team fight.
Hey, you give one carry game to On Fleek, you give the next one to Dove. Seems to be the way this team really does work together. Hollow with no Feather Storm, they were really threatening to play. And speaking of which, how about hopping forward and forcing a flash already? Joker gonna eat that Glacial Prison in the end. Okay, nice engage on the backside. Chumpo on in, and there goes the Katarina. Takes out 2 in an instant.
And that is what can happen with Rakan Katarina. As a duo, they just ruined the bot lane of BattleComics. They thought they could play 1-3-1 safely. There's no safety in this particular game with Katarina on patrol. They might just lose their mid lane inhibitor.
Looks like it too. Gnar's gonna TP onto the turret.
Will it complete?
Should get there on time. There's no minion wave, so a huge push coming on in, and I guarantee you Katarina is going to be faster in that kind of play compared to an Akali or anything else, really. Part of the reason why he likes playing this champ.
The only other champion that could make a play like that in my head is the Kassadin. He wouldn't have had enough damage. Speaking of damage.
Okay, Sor, going to try to go 1v5 here. You got a Katarina on in. There's the stun. The Shen able to help him out, but still, the Kai'Sa going to get it. They're still going forward somehow. The huge Azir play, though. A 4-man knockup and 3 kills to Dove. In the end, Showmaker, though, will take him out, able to trade back the kills, and this is the action we were looking for.
We're popping off everywhere. The Azir was so big, as we mentioned. He gets a casual triple 1v5. They can't finish it off. Their answering kills go to the Urgot. But hopefully we can continue to see trades because it's actually equal gold when we come out of the replay. All right, so let's watch and consider, because you see Nuclear go for a really short hop on the ult, and you're like, what's going on here? Remember that the resets on the Shunpo are the thing for Cat. She's able to uniquely do big damage on the chase. Before Cassidy has 3-4 items, he couldn't make a play like this. It's a very nice play pushing through the mid lane, and I thought this might be the game breaker for DAMWON Gaming, but Dove is just biding his time, and even though he's in melee range, he's so fed that he wrecks DAMWON Gaming, if not to the tune of a straight-up 1v5 pentakill.
You can see that Zor and the rest of BattleComics, they're calling for it because Dove and On Fleek are just, especially Dove, is incredibly fed.
Look at this player, look at how much damage Azir does. His ult itself does over 1,000 damage across the whole team.
Yeah.
Man, you have something like Cleanse, another heal, another Shen ultimate, and maybe Azir just kills everyone. Not able to do so, but look at the gold. It's basically even. That means the next fight is just going to be as fiery as the previous one.
Showmaker now looking for any kind of entrance into a fight where he will not get Emperor's Divided. Oh boy, Hoyt, though, you are going to have Cleanse, but you are not going to have a life. It's not going to be enough. Finally gets that Emperor's Divide onto Punch here as DAMWON Gaming not going to consider an entrance into this fight, as it goes very, very one-sided to BattleComics.
So easy on the eyes, almost a kill a minute. We're seeing really fun stuff here between BattleComics and DAMWON. To the victor, their spoils, the first person to engage. The team fight has been won by the team that goes in first. Get the first 2 kills. Hoyt has a Cleanse and a Dream, but won't be able to get away from the Camille ultimate for the, it feels like 4th time this game. The Smite is dead. Their Baron damage is huge. They have Infernal Mountain. They're going straight to the Purple Worm.
They're going to start it up here again. This is every Katarina's wet dream. We'll see if she can get that engaged, though. Trying to get close. It's only going to be Joker trying to zone them out.
Time.
And in the end, not able to do anything, really. Joker even going to flash away, but there's the ultimate from Noguri, and there's the huge Death Lotus in the back. But Nar trying to shut it down. They're going to get Noguri in the end.
Cat's still alive.
Showmaker is still alive, looking for the resets. He's going to get one with the 10 health shield. Is going to get a double kill here. Is Nuclear actually on the back side, but the damage coming out in spades by Showmaker.
Katarina doesn't go down. She buys so much time. They may have got the Baron, but they're not keeping the buff. Only 1 buff is left after all of that action. DAMWON Gaming push up. They're melee champions, but they want to take a turret and get an objective as well.
Well, let's take another look at this one.
The key ability here is not the first one you think, because it goes on, the Baron is taken. But notice the key ability, Valdez. The key ability is Urgot ultimate, because he flashes in for the fear onto multiple members. AoE fear plus a Katarina. How about a pentakill?
Thankfully, the Gnar had his ultimate there. Otherwise, it would have just been the pentakill, basically, as the Katarina did come in, but... oh, he's actually going to get the stun.
Who wins this, though?
Nuclear, he's cheating. He's got a Shen in his back pocket. That's not fair. On Fleek probably still would have won the fight anyway, but a nice little pick for the side of BattleComics.
All right. You know, I don't get to be an LPL caster, so a couple of years now, we'll get an LPL-esque game here. I'm a big fan of games like this because it reminds you that one way you can play League of Legends is to keep fighting until you got better items than the enemy, and then they can't fight you, and who cares if you can see them or not? You know you'll win the eventual 5v5 fight. And I feel like both teams, the moment the Katarina came in, nodded their heads and said, I see how you want to play this game. We can fight dirty too. More than a kill a minute. The last team fight was dominated by the Katarina at the end. And we still have no idea which team will win. The only thing we do know is this Infernal Drake's looking pretty attractive to both DAMWON Gaming and BattleComics.
It's been a fiery game so far, double Infernal, and just non-stop action here. More than a kill a minute now, 27 and 26. And I wouldn't be surprised to see another fight break out here as Punch looking for that engage is gonna miss actually on the front side and take a bunch of damage. So he will not have that engage in the end. Soar without his teleport. They could have tried to fight force a 5v4, but not quite landing the ability.
Is it kind of weird that I liked having the camera on the Gnar because it felt like a quiet moment? It feels like this has been an action movie with no quiet moments. Where's the character building and the sympathetic, you know, my daughter's having a rough time action hero? Well, it seems like the Gnar is the only person to play alone. He's going to be grouping soon. I think the fight starts here.
Okay, On Fleek in the back line too. Gets the huge Emperor's Divide. Look at Showmaker though, looking for the Death Lotus. Not able to go for it just yet.
Still alive.
Okay, he's gonna get defenders in the face now. Hollow trying to save this fight, but it's actually gonna be Nuclear with this rapid fire cannon. Able to get into the backside and just shred the enemy team. Zor gonna go down as well. And we've been screaming Katarina, but this time around the quadra kill to Kaisa's Nuclear's Kaisa.
Turns out that Showmaker was just the prop buddy for the real last action hero in Nuclear in this game. Someone has to swoop through, and when you can get 6 stacks of Ginsu Rage and the Hurricane, if all eyes are on Katarina, the machine gun and melee range is actually Nuclear. Gonna watch the replay here. Big engage onto Dove as OnFleek dives in. Yes, I realize that's confusing. Look at the bounce there. He tried to go into the backline, did Nuclear, but was bounced back because of the Camille ultimate. When Xayah gets the feathers through and Katarina goes down, you think it's all over, but Nuclear flashes into basically melee range, takes them down. The plasma is popped. Nuguri, who's not been discussed ever since his death in the bot lane, is still a bouncer. He's still a setup person, and is slammed down by Nuclear.
The amount of space and the Runen's Hurricane for Nuclear just allowed to shred that entire front line, and Showmaker unfortunately not able to get the full reset and just ate too much damage from the Xayah towards the midpoint of that fight.
Big brain Papa Smithy, who went in first. It was DAMWON Gaming, and they won the fight.
Well, how about this? Joker, he's got a cleanse of his own.
This doesn't count. There wasn't a fight.
Okay. Sorry about that. Hyping up the non-fights. Joker just playing with our hearts. Cleanse a little bit late. I'm like, okay. Trying to bait in the enemy team. I guess that's what he does for this BattleComics team.
All right. Take a deep breath. You can relax a little bit. More shouting coming this game. I would say probably 2 to 3 more shoutings, and then we should be done with it. But still more games coming up. It's only game number 3 in a best of 5, guys, if you're joining us late. We're seeing a lot of engage, and DAMWON Gaming aren't seeing a whole lot of anything. Punch now finds Joker.
BattleComics just running into the enemy jungle, not scared of anything, even after all this action has come onto the Rift. Just gonna rotate and pick up another turret basically for free. Take a look at Showmaker's positioning on the backside. Would love a nice little flank, especially with the Infernal Drake about to pop.
Don't have the overlay up, but you can visibly see an important cooldown, important item here, and the Guardian Angel has been done by Nuclear to allow him to dive in. We mentioned the Infernal for a fight. They kill it too fast. There won't be a fight. Hoyt looking for a flank on the Rakan. Good catch on Fleek.
Yeah, that's gonna do it. In comes Nuclear, makes it look as easy as you'd like. No way for him to get away from that one as Hoyt pulling off some Ignar plays with the nice little flank.
Big mistake from OnFleek to try to flash away from the Q coming through from the Kaisa. You're gonna go down one way or the other. His death there was basically written in blood. Dove trying to pick up farm where he can. He's close to his 4th item. 10 stack on the Dark Seal is gone. Only 3 now after the latest death. Last fight might have been all about Showmaker, about Nuclear, sorry, but Showmaker himself, who's been behind in CS, hasn't picked up as many kills, is gonna only pile on threat. Seems like the Zonia is coming up for him for a reposition in the next fight.
Yeah, not picking up all the kills. He's not the one getting into the back line and just shredding the enemy. It's his follow-up and everybody freaking out, and then Nuclear just shows up into the back line. It's a nice little combo, you know? You talk about the one-threat Kaisa compositions that just build a bunch of tanks and supports around him, but then you have this Katarina to worry about as well. It's basically 2 different types of damage that come in, but also one is going to come in and just take all of your attention, and then eventually Kaisa shows up and you're like, well, we don't have anything else to take her out.
And when the game is even in terms of gold, which is definitely a when, and it's also an if. I remember that some weak lanes here from DAMWON Gaming got to the mid-game even, or 1,000 gold behind. Then you have that scenario where there's 3 people with hard CC and 2, kind of feels like 2 resetting assassins with the Kaisa and the Katarina. And that is where suddenly there's so many balls being juggled that if you're BattleComics, you might drop one of them and then a pentakill or a quadrikill comes in to either Kaisa or Katarina. So with all that being said, it does feel like unless BattleComics can be really on point, especially Hollow with his Xayah timings, the CC should be there from the E. The Feather Storm timing needs to be perfect. He doesn't have the Infinity Edge, but it feels like Holo holds most of the chances on the side of BattleComics.
Hoyt, meanwhile, really looking for these, awkward angle engages, which can really catch the enemy off point. And so far, has not been able to, as BattleComics are just traveling as 5. No split pushing, no anything, even with teleport on Soar.
Trying to push to the mid lane here. DAMWON Gaming can't return to the scene of the crime. One able to take an inhibitor early. Baron is up. Elder is coming soon. And DAMWON Gaming have a lot of Baron damage, especially through nuclear.
Well, they're going to start it here, double Infernal, no Mountain, but look at how fast it goes down. They have incredible Baron speed. There's going to be Hoyt to stop that Camille from getting in, and Hoyt is going to be the one to take it out, actually, with his own smite. Joker gets low. Nice little engage by the Katarina. Look at how much damage those two do. Both the Katarina and the Kai'Sa just going to rip this team to shreds. Another double kill to Nuclear as they take the Baron and maybe take the game.
If you dive in like that and Holo has no front line to fight around, Kai'Sa and Katarina are going to run the fight every time. And DAMWON Gaming are going to look to win now with 3 people dead.
Should be able to here. Holo alone with Soar in no Meganar means that this game is just about done. They got a nice big wave into the mid lane, but we're learning some stuff. Even up against an Azir and a Xayah that get a nice little start in this game. The Katarina and the Kai'Sa seem to be too big of threats. Looks like they're going to be able to take down 2 more members as Soar should be going down. There you go, Showmaker and Kai'Sa able to take them out. There you go, 2-1 in favor of DAMWON Game.
If you opt into the fight club against Katarina and Kai'Sa and don't come out with 3-1, 4-1 leads in the early game, don't be surprised when it gets to the late game and that fight club is stacked against you by the time they came to contest the Baron. Dove on the Azirs, diving into the backline, dying. The Xayah can't do any damage, didn't have the Infinity Edge either. So it feels like in the end, in the disarray, in the craziness, DAMWON Gaming showed they could excel. Katarina Kai'Sa was a pretty fearsome duo, piloted well by Showmaker and Nuclear respectively. And now BattleComics, after a very impressive Game 1 victory, are getting dragged into something they weren't ready for. And right now, DAMWON Gaming looking to make it a 3-1 with their current 2-1 lead.
That is absolutely the way it feels. DAMWON Gaming just controlling the draft and controlling the game on their terms. On Fleek trying his best early game to get super far ahead of the Sejuani, but eventually got shut down. The double buff and the kill going to Katarina, and ever since then, even with the Fedazir, it just felt like they couldn't do much.
Big shout out to Hoyt, who swapped to Smite, interrupted the enemy Smite, came back and smited it himself. Hooray for Unsealed Spellbook Rakan, but very well pulled off. Turns out the Katarina and the Kai'Sa making it through what could have been just a run over in the early game, and they were there in the late game to close it.
Well, guys, we did just finish game number 4. It's 2-1 in favor of DAMWON Gaming. When we come back, game number 4 after the break.